we are presented with this circus show war on many different levels. One is a real distraction that's being paraded across the funhouse mirrors of real life, quote unquote, in the external world. And we're seeing it play out as a war. But there's been a silent war for a long time, and if you haven't even read the books, The Silent War, Silent Weapons, for a Silent War, I think it's called. I'll look at that. I'll put it in the descriptions. But that's a wonderful, wonderful eye-wing book. But decades now, we have been fighting. We have been infringed upon, and it is this mind control war, this spirit energy control war that we are a part of. And if we could just all get on the same page that, yes, there's energy involved. Yes, there's frequencies involved. Yes, there are these other notions to life, and they have weapons. Many, many, many spent billions of dollars over time, trillions probably, on designing, testing, using, and doing these other types of weapons. So it's really time that if we want to we have to put our money where our mouth is. Yes, we've done great working. Yes, we know there are lies. Yes, we've gone through some truths and all of this stuff. But it's not time for any more of the research digging. It's time to put the money where the mouth is. Get your head straight, because you're in a war right now. And how do you want to function through this? You know what I mean? Are you going to be a strong beacon of hope and love to triumph through, to persevere through this, to guide others through, and to show there is a better way, there is different to be done, that this is lies, and there, and there is truth? That's really what we're being called to do that on our own in our individual lives right now. And as we do this and we do the walk and we get feedback from others in our lives, we get feedback from others on the internet, we get more used to this heart-centered sharing, this connective faith that we should all be really getting into right now, whether it's more of a metaphysical understanding of faith, whether it's an interconnectedness to the universe and stardust, and it's more like celestial and kind of loose, that's fine. Or if it's super corralled and tight-fitted in your microscope and you have a specific religion and a branch of that you subscribe to, and that's it. It doesn't matter anymore, and let's not fight about it. The general sense and the understanding is this foundation we get together on this war, the side, is that we have faith in a bigger picture. That we have faith in humanity and in this interconnectedness that connects us all. That we can rise, that we can be better, that we can make better. That, we are sovereign, worthy beings of an essential energy of source, It's exciting, it's mysterious, it's adventurous, it's courageous. It's wonderful to be a human. This is a gift. And if you feel that way, you're on one certain side of this war that we're being kind of forced into, and whether you're forced into at birth, dear, or you've come back, or, whatever the case is, but that's what it's, it's multifaceted, but that's a layering, One side believes human life, all life is sacred, is a beautiful gift, has a connection to a source point that's bigger than now, that came from a before, and there will be an after. That's one side. There's the whole other side that doesn't like that hates that wants to say no. It's YOLO. It's one life only. F you. I'm going to do me, for me, get me. That's all that matters. Getting higher on the ladder and away from all of you who are bringing me down. F you. You're not good enough. Even if there is an afterlife or whatever, I still want to be me, for me. I'm going to be the most powerful that I can be. Leave, F you, I don't care kind of attitude. That's the whole other side. And wrapped up in that also, unfortunately, with like that kind of hatred for humanity, it really roots and it rots down in the rooting is self-hatred. It's hatred for the human being. It's hatred for life. It's hate of love and of your gift and of God. And it's very sad, and I find it particularly, I feel very empathetic towards those who have that great infestation of shadow and distortions that are so deep that they can't even tap into the eternal well of love that resides within them, you know. That to them sounds like a bunch of shit. And I don't know why you'd ever choose that for yourself, because you're literally, you have the choice to feel good or feel bad, and you're choosing to feel bad. I mean, there's worth in it, and I've done it to myself, and you know what? It's because I have dug out of my rock bottom, right? I use this metaphor all the time. I'm going to close with this metaphor. Right? We dig ourselves in these holes, down rabbit holes, whatever it is, into all these things, trying to get into careers, into debt holes, into societal debt holes, social debt holes. Relationships are digging holes down. You're not good enough. You're trying to find yourself, find your worth down there, find something down there, anything, the key to success or whatever. You're so tired, you extend all your energy, and you look up and all you can see is how far you've been digging down. Now you can't even get back out of there. So now what do you have to do but keep digging, I guess? And it's just painful and horrible, and you're exhausting yourself, and nobody comes to help you, or maybe people laugh at you from up there, or whatever the case is. You've been digging this deep, deep hole down here. And you're so thirsty, right? And you're extending all your energy, and this is rock bottom, right? You get to a point where you say, I can't even dig anymore. I'm so tired. I've exhausted myself. I'm going to die soon. I'm going to die of thirst. I'm going to leave myself here. I can't even pick up that shovel and dig anymore. And nobody can come down to get me. There's no way I can climb up. I guess it's over. I'm done. I give up. I can't do it anymore. And you give up and you lay in this rock bottom, in this pit, right? And maybe for a long time, and maybe it's years, maybe it's days, months, maybe, you know, who knows, but you are looking up and waiting for that ladder to come, or waiting for someone to come down and save you, or anything, right? Praying up there, asking, saying, oh, if I only had the strength I could climb out, or whatever. Sooner or later, you get to a point of quietness in this ready to give up state. Near death even, maybe. It's like right on the bridge where you think you're dying for thirst and you're going to die right there. And maybe it's like you're laying on the ground in this bottom of this pit, right? And you're just going to die, and you can't even move, you can't even think. And all of a sudden you hear underneath you trickling water, or you hear bubbling, or you hear a little bit of something, or you feel like wetness maybe. Some trigger from outside, from great source creator, from your higher self, whoever it is, saints, angels, you know, the infinite intelligence that runs through the ether. It sends this notion of knowing that right underneath the crust of your rock bottom that you've dug is a well of water. You're saved. There's water. It's thirst. It's always been there. Oh my God. And you dig, and finally you have that energy, you have that drive, and you dig and you make it through, and it bursts through, and it's a well. It's an aquifer, and it bubbles up from underneath there, and it rises you up out of the well, and it overflows and pours you out. And that literally happened to me, and in numerous different times, in different layers of extremes and real life scenarios and metaphorical scenarios, so many times. But that is the point. Everybody has to get to it. Everybody has to get to that rock bottom point. And the dark side, the archons, all of them holding this point out, thinking that they're going to eventually be able to just be that one ball, right? They think they're going to create their own, like, different structure out here, forgetting they're connected to the chain and they're part of Newton's cradle, and there's a whole purpose to that anyways, right? For the observer, for the person who designed Newton's cradle, for Newton, right? But this entity, the negative agenda, thinks it's going to create its own little world on the ball that it's holding up here, this state of extreme control and restrictions and negative energies that it can feed off of and hold up there. But yeah, it will hit their rock bottom as well, you know, and that's the great beauty of it, is that that's there for all of us always, and at some point everyone will hit it, and that's kind of what we've been going through, is a force of that in many different layers through all of these great displays, you know, of all types of war and terrorism and stuff, all the way, you know. Look at every state of war that we've been through since World War I, even just the conglomeration of it, you know. That whole thing has been also an orchestrated distraction so that we don't notice the internal war that we're a part of. They're trying to sever us from our spirit, from our great purpose, from each other, from the conscious collective, from sharing information, from heart-centered sharing, from communal growth, because they can't control that. They can't predict it. They know they can't. It's not going to happen. And so their best bet is to stay down in that well and just keep in their little hole and try to get everybody down in there, with them.